Yeah, I appreciate you doing the podcast. I have to go to the hardware store to buy a fire extinguisher because there's a 1% chance that there's an earthquake going to happen this week.
What?
Yeah. So
What are you talking about?
Welcome to the Mr. Bill podcast. I'm Bill's manager, Anand Harsh, editor-in-chief of theUnst.com. Denis Villeneuve's Dune trailer comes out next week, so to prepare, I'm fitting my still suit in the desert fashion, fitting my boots slip fashion like the Fremen, and processing urine and feces in the thigh pads. That's for maybe 6 of you. Another week, another blockbuster episode. Bill's guest this week is Benjamin Bayeul, a.k.a. Bamby of the Belgian duo Ganja White Night. Along with Erwan Charlie Dotson, Bamby conquered the American dubstep scene after years of consistent releases and a penchant for high-energy live shows. They've collaborated with Zed's Dead, Liquid Stranger, and Closey and introduced the world to Boogie T, Subtronics, and more with their Subcarbon label. By the way, Bill's collab EP Dead Language with Essex came out on Subcarbon a couple years back. Tragically, Bill was going to join the Ganja White Night boys for night 3 of Wobble Rocks back in April of this year, but the fucking Rona, man. Bummer City. Thanks to everyone who's joined the Patreon for this podcast. Subscribers to the Mr. Bill Patreon get episodes a full week before listeners to the free feed, and early access is available to listeners at all subscription levels. Patrons can also get bonus episodes, merch, Discord roles, and so much more. Just head over to patreon.com/MrBillsTunes to support the show. Finally, go to MrBillsTunes.com to sign up as a hardcore Ableton-ear. You get full access to Bill's project files and tutorials, and we'll be revealing some fun things about the website in the near future. All right, here's Bill's episode with Bamby of Ganja White Night.
Hey, you're listening to the Mr. Bill podcast.
Hey, you're listening to the Mr. Bill podcast.
Hey, you are listening to the Mr. Bill podcast.
Hey, you're 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 listening to the Mr. Bill podcast. Hey, you're listening to the Mr. Bill podcast.
Hey, you're listening to the Mr. Bill podcast.
Hey, you're listening to the Mr. Bill podcast.
Hey, you're listening to the Mr. Bill podcast.
sick. Well, yeah, man. Thanks for doing the podcast. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Have you done podcasts before, or is this first one?
First one.
Nice.
So I'm enjoying it with a nice cold one.
Yeah. What are you drinking? Stella?
Yeah. It's the random choice it's a set choice for a Belgian, actually. People think it's like the super high value beer in the US, but for us, for the Belgians, actually, it's just, it's okay. But it's good. It's a little taste of Belgium.
I feel like in California, there's a pretty high standard for beer. Seems like people here are into the craft stuff a lot. I also feel like to be a big DJ, you need to like pick a shitty beer and stick to it. Like, for instance, Deadmau5 picks Corona.
Well, actually enjoy some Corona sometime. But honestly, when you're a DJ, I think you gotta be able to drink a little bit of what's available.
Right, that's a good point. Yeah, you have to be pretty malleable and resilient to your beer choices on the road. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
Do you think Corona beers sales have gone down massively since coronavirus?
I think they got up.
They've gone up?
I think.
That's
I
would
think
not
I
expect
can't.
that.
Really? I kind of
why?
imagine people like having Corona party and having only Corona beers available. I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder if after coronavirus is done, like there's a vaccine or whatever, if people are going to have like, giant Corona parties with nothing but Corona beer and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can see that happen here for sure.
Yeah, in America, that makes sense, I think. I don't think that would make sense anywhere else in the world.
Well, actually, I still have friends in Belgium, and sometimes, I mean, it's a small percentage of my my timeline on Facebook. But sometimes I see some stuff from Belgium, and they were having fun with Corona beers too in Belgium. So
Nice. How have you found the move from Belgium over to where you're in LA? So yeah, how'd you find moving from, was it Brussels you were in?
I lived in Brussels for 4 or 5 years, and then in Waterloo, a little south of Brussels, for 6 months. And it was not the plan, but yeah, we came here in LA 2 times with my son over 3 years, and every time we came here was great. So when we decided to move here in the US, it was like the safest choice for us. We spent a summer in Minneapolis, and we enjoyed it too. That was like, are we going to be in Minneapolis or West Coast? Because we know the weather there is great. It's crazy more expensive, but we know for sure we're going to be happy there. And it was like the safe bet. You know,
Right.
when you make such a big move like that, you don't want to regret. So you just take the safe bet. We knew we would love it here. So that's why we did it.
Yeah, that makes sense. And the choice to live in Minneapolis was pretty much based around your management being there, right? Or was it just because you'd spent a lot of time there and sort of felt like home there?
Well, strategically, it was also pretty cool because that's a big hub for Delta. And back in the day, we know, used to fly every weekend. So it kind of makes sense to base where you are with a big hub of the company you use all the time. Also, the management was there. Also, I love Minneapolis a lot, and definitely was making sense. But yeah, my wife was like, nah, I won't handle the winter out there, which I can totally understand because it's hardcore. And I wasn't sure we would enjoy Minneapolis during the winter, but because it's too extreme. And I respect the people out there that are able to handle it, right? But for Belgians like us, which doesn't have like super marked season anymore, like it depends. Like, it would have been really tough.
Right. Yeah. Alex, for people who are listening, Alex is your manager, lived on that lake. And he told me in the winter that whole lake, which was like, it was fucking huge. It was like miles across and miles long.
Oh, yeah.
And
Minnetonka, yep.
Yeah, in Minnetonka. And he said the entire thing in the winter would freeze. And instead of people driving around it to get to the other side, they just drive straight over it.
Of course.
And
yeah. It's great.
He said people would drive into the middle of it, cut a huge hole in it and like fish there and like have a fire on it. I was like, why would you have a fucking fire on it next to your car? It's just going to melt the ice and you're just going to fall in. And then he also mentioned that people would drive over it slightly too close to like February and March because they would like they wouldn't, think about it enough and then lose their car in the fucking ocean.
I've seen pictures, yeah. Yeah, well, Alex told you that David is the fisher guy. He is a fishman. So
yeah, right.
David was living with Alex. They're still living together, but now in LA. But they were living together in that lake house. And I've seen, I had video calls with David when he was actually, you imagine having like RV that is just sitting on the ice, and you have a hole in your RV, which is the hole where you fish through, It's crazy. You have like a little home sitting on the ice, and you play PlayStation the whole weekend, and there's a hole in the ice in the middle of their RV that just you go and you fish from there. It's insane. And
so you just cut a hole in the bottom of the RV as well?
There's it's made for it. It's not like an RV. It's I don't know how they call that.
Like a fishing van.
Kind of, yeah. But it looks like a small RV living room kind of thing. You have a kitchenette in there. You can cook. You have a TV. You have internet. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, you got to be creative during the winter out there. It's so extreme that you got to have some fun in some way. That looks really fun to me.
Right. Yeah, I feel like people on the West Coast get it pretty good. Like, for instance, San Francisco, if you just wear a hoodie and pants, you're pretty much good every day of the year. Whereas in LA, it's almost like if you wear shorts and a t-shirt, you're almost good every day of the year.
Man, I moved with a lot of stuff from Belgium to here. Like winter jackets, scarf, beanies. Winter in Belgium is not that cold, but it freezes sometimes. We have a little bit of snow. It's not extreme, and when I started putting the stuff, like we received we moved here. And we had a container that was shipped from Belgium to here that arrived a month after. And when we received all our stuff, like the majority of all of our stuff, that was the big volume, we're like, what we gonna do with that? Like that, we had a bunch of winter jackets, like a bunch of warm clothes. And now when I open my closet, I'm like, shit, that takes so much space for no reason at all. But I don't like to put things on the trash. I'm just going to give that at some point and realize that the only time I will need it, it's when I go see my friends in Minneapolis or I'm having shows in cold places like that. We'll just pack one of these in the suitcase.
Yeah, you'll play something like Snow Tower eventually and you'll be glad you have a jacket.
Yeah.
Speaking of taking up space in your closet for no reason, when I was at your house, I noticed you have more T-shirts than anyone I've ever seen. It's like somewhere in the realm of like 1,000 T-shirts.
It's not. I would say like 250 more.
250 is still insane.
Yeah, maybe not 1,000, but it's a lot of T-shirt. I gotta admit. Yeah,
dude, I own like 11 T-shirts. And they're all the exact same. They're just all black.
All black? Well, you see what I'm wearing today, right?
Right. It's a black T-shirt.
H&M black T-shirt, $15.
Yeah, it's the move. It's good because it's like you don't have to think it just like, you don't have to spend that extra few minutes in the morning or whenever you change your T-shirt figuring out what T-shirt to wear.
Yeah, well, I spend a lot of time choosing the T-shirt when I have shows and stuff like that. But since I've been at home for the last month, 6 months, 8 months, actually, fuck, man. Well, I don't care that much anymore. But yeah, I told you why I had so many T-shirts, right?
No, I didn't know there was a reason for this.
Yeah, there's a reason. I think I told you why. No?
No. What's the reason?
Well, when I was younger, like a teenager, I think I was pretty poor, can say it, and I had like really few T-shirts, and it would get like shrinked or damaged or just pretty quick because I was skateboarding. I wasn't really taking care of my stuff really. And then it was really hard to switch between shirts and not have people that were having fun of me saying, you're wearing the same shit all the time. Like, yeah, well, dude, that's just what I have. And I think that's the little revenge on myself having 250 now.
It's just like your way of balling out now that you're successful. You're like, fuck,
I'm balling with T-shirts, man. And a good portion of them are like venue T-shirts or friends and T-shirts. I actually had a period with I think it was last month. Every day I was wearing a friend's T-shirt, like Boogie T, Subtronics, all the people we've been on tour with that just gave me merch. Every day I was wearing a merch shirt from my friends or venues or stuff like that. It felt good.
Yeah, nice. Oh, yeah. What kind of stuff do you think about when you're selecting a T-shirt to wear for a show? Because I never think about it. Like all my shirts are the same, so I'm just like, I'll just wear this one.
Depending where it is. Well, for example, if I have a show in the intersection, I will try to remember and catch that T-shirt they gave me a couple of years ago and just wear that one.
The intersection is in Knoxville or Nashville?
Grand Rapids.
Grand Rapids, okay. What am I thinking
Sick
about?
venue.
I'm thinking about
really cool venue. You've been there.
I think I might have. Grand Rapids, I don't know. That's
the intersection and the Stash next to it. It's like two venues. I think they have 3 venues at that place now. The intersection, I think, is the big one, and you have the Stash. There's really next to it, same building.
What do you think is going to happen to those huge venues? Because, like, for instance, like a good example of one of those huge like multi venues is the Skyway Theater in Minneapolis, right? It's like the Skyway Theater, the Loft, Studio B, and I think maybe like one more or two more rooms that are just in this giant building. So the rent on that place must be like 50, 60 grand a month or like something insane, right? It's like,
I think they own it.
okay.
Actually.
Well, I mean, even if they own it, like the taxes and the monthly fees and property tax and all that kind of stuff would be insane just to run that building. And right now they can't like hold events in it. So I wonder what's going to happen to a lot of these buildings. Are they just going to get all taken over by industries that could work through the recession of COVID, like tech industries and stuff like that, and we'll see a giant shortage in venues? Or
I mean, I know some venues have like trying to raise money. They have this I shared it. I should remember the name of it. It's like Save Our Venues, something like that. Let me find it out. I think it's Save Our Venues. You've seen that, right?
No, it's like a giant GoFundMe type thing? Or?
Kinda, yeah, for independent promoters and venues, and I can't find it, but I shared it.
I also wonder the same kind of thing about not just venues, but also agents, right? Because like agents make all their money from their acts touring. So if none of their acts can tour that.
Agents, production company. You think about, I mean, we have friends, agents, friends, productions company friends. We have friends all over the place that are struggling right now because the way to get their money is just being able to throw show. And it sucks, man. Like people just bought a lot of equipment before that shit happened, and now they're not stuck with it. Obviously, maybe they I don't know how they can survive like through this. It's tough, and honestly, the big venues, it's one thing, but think about all the small venues that are like that. Those first steps for an artist that you need to accomplish and to start building your crowd and start becoming a professional. Like all those small venues are gonna be, they're struggling a lot more, I think, than the big ones.
Yeah, it's conceivable for sure. Because I mean, I guess the smaller venues, they'll have less like costs to cover, but yeah, they may not have as much money saved.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Speaking of money saved and stuff like that, I mean, I know you just moved to LA and then bought a house, so I mean, I'm sure you invested a ton in all of that. But like, how are you doing through the COVID thing? Because you can't do shows, so do you have like extra income streams right now?
No, not really. It's not easy, honestly. I mean, you said obviously I bought a house, moved to LA. It's not a cheap city for sure. It's like 3 times more money than what I was paying in Belgium. So that's a lot. Not having shows is stressful, obviously, because you don't know how long it's gonna take to finally be back to generate the same kind of money you were doing before. So it's the and the fact that it happens like 6 months after we moved. 7-8 months after we moved in. Actually, a little bit more, but still pretty close. And it's stressful, man. I mean, the only money we're making right now is through the royalties, the label. You know, we didn't even release merch yet. Like we're gonna drop some merch soon, but so many things happened since that. It was a virus, and then a lot of other stuff happens. You know, it wasn't just never the right time for us to really start releasing merch collection or something that would generate money for us. You know, it was not really appropriate, I think. Right.
Yeah, and it was crazy too, because you had like you had some big shows booked that were like doing well too. For instance, you had almost 2 nights of Red Rock sold out, and then a third night almost sold out, right?
Yeah,
which is insane.
It was doing okay, man. It break my heart.
Yeah, it's like 30,000 tickets sold. How long do you think it'll be before 10,000 people are comfortable being next to each other again?
Who the fuck knows, man? Do you know?
I would say no.
You have an idea? What do you bet on? What? Like what are your inputs on the vaccine? Right?
Yeah, I would bet like once the vaccine is out, people. Yeah,
that's what everybody that think. I'd like to say a part of me have some hope and say like, hey, vaccine is great, but if you have a instantaneous test, we would be able to make like big crowd shit happen again. If you have like a test that you have the results right away, something that is accurate, and you don't have to wait more than a minute, just, if you're carrying it or not, then it would be able to happen, I think.
Yeah, there's some home tests that you can get where you can just order a test and do it at home. And apparently it's like, I want to say somewhere in the realm of 20 to 40% accurate, maybe less than that.
What's
also,
the point of like having a test that is...
Well, the regular tests that you can get, I've been tested 4 times since all this started. And those tests are even only like 30, 40% accurate.
Oh, damn. So what's the point of being tasted if you have only 30% chance of having the right result?
Well, a lot of essential workers get mandatorily tested every 2 weeks at this point. So I guess like even if the chances of those tests being...
It's all about reducing the risk.
Yeah, exactly. Which I think at this point can only be done by people not being near each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Common sense.
Yeah.
Which is not so common.
Yeah, exactly. Have you done any online sets, or have you thought about doing any online sets?
Yeah. That's fun because you came at my place here right before this happened, right?
Yeah, I was glad that happened because
a week before, right?
I think it was about a week before everything got locked down. I was at your house, yeah.
Yeah, and I was stressed as fuck because I wasn't sure I would get the house and all that. I would have maybe need to move and start looking for another place with that climate that was happening at the beginning of this, like extremely stressful, not knowing what's happening. But yeah, anyway, I remember when you came, I think we discussed that about live show streaming performances. I tell you, I just don't know if I would feel really in the mood for that kind of stuff. Like I posted a little bit on the Buds group about it, saying that I need that connection, that feeling of the crowd when I'm on the stage. It's the people reaction, obviously the music and the powerful sound system give you the energy for your body to move and to pass their limits sometime, and the stage and the production and all that atmosphere makes it magic, obviously, and makes you surpass yourself. But the crowd reaction is really literally what makes me enjoy performing live. It's after that, I have a lot more fun just being in my studio and writing music. I take much more pleasure there. If I'm just playing for nobody that I can see or hear, it's difficult. I don't think I will enjoy it really a lot. It might be selfish to think that, because people would say, hey, we would enjoy it a lot if you were doing a streaming performance. But I feel like you have a picture of me when you see me on the stage. I would be totally different if it was just in front of a camera.
Right. And also, I mean, you guys invest a lot into your sets. Like you do stuff like bring sound systems to shows and bring giant LED walls to shows and bring pyrotechnics to shows and all that kind of stuff. And all
it's
of
a
that
whole
would,
show. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All of that would be like that whole giant cinematic epic experience would be lost. And then also on top of that, the main issue I have with it for my stuff is there's just no way to control the sound. Like I'm pretty big these days on bringing my own sound system to a show. Like the last few shows I was doing before all the COVID stuff happened, every show I'd be bringing either a Hennessy or a Function One most of the time. And without being able to control the sound in that way and have everybody who's experiencing it be experiencing it at the level that I would like them to, it kind of loses something. It's like, it's one thing to put your music out and people to listen to it on their iPhone speakers because they're going to do that anyway. And you know, it's necessary for you to release music, right? Like you can't just not release music. But it's another thing to, like stream a whole live set where you want that to be like the big sort of unveiling of a bunch of unreleased stuff and like a bunch of work in progress stuff. And, you don't want to like release all that stuff for the first time that anyone's ever hearing it on like shitty speakers. And it's just, you can't control what people will listen to it on. Some people will be listening on their phones. Some people will listen to it on laptop speakers. Some people might have headphones. Some people might have like TV speakers. And it's like, I can't, it just feels wrong to me to sort of unveil all of that stuff in such an uncontrolled setting.
Can definitely see why you like knowing you a little bit and know how you like shit to sound right. I can see what pisses you a lot, man. Yeah, and well, I didn't even thought about that personally, because but I thought more about like me being able to having the energy that people deserve from me, at least, or I mean, seeing just me enjoying it. I don't want to have like a sad face doing a live stream on videos, and that's what's make me holding a little bit more. But at the end, I think we might have to do it at some point, just to keep that connection.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling the same way. I also think people don't appreciate don't appreciate enough how much a show is like a full body experience too, because like when you have those giant LED walls and all of those lights and a giant sound system, it's like, it's not just like some tracks that you're hearing, it's also like this giant thumping vibration in your body that you're feeling, and like you almost can't see because you're blinded by so much light, and then the system is like so loud that it's just filling your ears so much with sound that you can't hear anything else. It's kind of like this full sensory overload experience, and you definitely don't get that on a computer at home.
Oh, hell no. Yeah. Well, I'm sure people are missing the physical thing that is linked with shows, like the heat from the pyrotechnic, like the crowd movements, the crowd reactions, the warm atmosphere. Sometimes it's wet, sometimes it's dry, sometimes it's, I mean, the crowd interaction. Obviously, that's what I miss the most. Like, going at every shows, almost 99% of the time when we're on tour or festival or anything, what I enjoy the most is just walking through the crowd before the show and just see how diversified it is, how funny it is. It's that's what I was enjoying going to festival before even playing at them.
Right.
I was going to
that
festivals.
Whole, like, carnival-esque energy.
Yeah, I love that, man. I like to go in the crowd and see people doing crazy shit. I love it. How
do you go walking around the crowd of your own show? Do you get recognized a lot, or are you pretty unrecognizable, you think?
I don't spend my whole day on Instagram stories showing my face every day. So people recognize me, obviously, but maybe not that quick as the people that do that. Sometimes
a very distinct look as well. Like maybe if you're wearing your Adidas hoodie or something.
No, that's over. No, the Adidas jacket, if I walk into the crowd and I'm wearing that's over. No, of course. But if I'm just wearing a black shirt and a hat, sometimes it takes a little longer before people recognize me. Sometimes they ask me to take a picture of their group. That's so funny. I love it. I take a selfie and then I take a picture of their group and I give them the camera back.
Nice. Yeah, I always love doing that. If somebody asks me to take a photo, just like take a photo of myself and
and then a picture of them too, because you're like,
right.
Okay. But no, I love that. That's honestly one of my favorite part of going to places and playing into different festival and stuff like that, taking the atmosphere, walking from stages to stages, and just experiencing the atmosphere of the festival before playing. I miss that a lot.
Right. How do you feel, how have you been going with making bangers when there's no big systems to play on? Because I've found it to be a little tricky, to be honest. I found before I was, when I was playing shows every weekend, it kind of made sense to make heavy music because then I could just play it directly on the weekend. So there was this constant like sort of recycling and input output of energy or whatever happening to make that kind of stuff. But I find now that there's not that output for it. It just feels sort of like
you cannot test it.
Yeah, it's like it feels pointless to make at the moment. So I've just been making nothing really that heavy.
Yeah, well, definitely if you want to release something these days, it's going to be, it would make more sense to me that you release some, like, people call it Spotify music, but you know what I'm saying. Like, it's no bangers, obviously, because it's maybe not what people would being able to enjoy it is right value right now. Like, yeah. Well, if we were releasing Hybrid Distillery, the album we released in 2016, these days, I'm sure it would be even probably way more successful than it was back then, just because it's more at home listening kind of thing. But yeah, honestly, producing bangers, playing them right away, not even when they're still in a work in progress 2 stages. We used to do that a lot too, but I got a good idea. You never can predict the crowd reaction. Obviously, you can imagine it. Sometimes you learn to trust yourself to know that's gonna work, that's not gonna work. To having the sensation here, I love my sub pack. I love that thing. So that gave me a lot of physical experience of the subs, at least. That's a good thing.
You ever put your sub pack on the floor?
You told me that. Joss told me to do that too. And I actually didn't try that yet. I really should. I thought it was like the right way to do it.
It's good, man, putting your feet on it. I feel like, because it feels like you're standing on the stage, kind of.
Which makes so much more sense to me. I don't know why I've just been used to use it on my chair since I got it. But I feel like it would be just going everywhere if I was putting it on the floor.
Yeah. Well, the other good thing about putting it on the floor is like it's easier to deal with the cable management, like because you can just sort of come up the side of your table with the cable. Whereas if it's on your chair, I feel like coming across the table and shit with the cable is sort of annoying.
Yeah, that bothered me. Actually, it's starting to be destroyed at this point. But
right, because it's like
it's still working.
Yeah, you can only get in and out of your chair like one way, and you can't like spin around and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I think they have a Bluetooth option, but yeah.
Well, there's a Bluetooth option here, but I don't know if there might be. You can do that with your phone, no problem. But here with the sound card and all that, I'm not sure I would be able to plug it in Bluetooth.
How do you cope with not losing momentum at this point of your career? Because I remember like 2016 we were playing some shows together, and in fact I think a few of them were like co-headline shows. Even it might have even been earlier, like 2014. And now there's obviously like such a giant disparity between how big Ganja is and how big the Mr. Bill project is. But even I feel this at this point in my career, like trying not to lose momentum with it and trying to like keep up with like whatever success is coming my way and trying to like roll with it and work it in my favor and stuff. But obviously like there's such huger rewards and such huger losses for someone in a project the size of yours to like lose or gain momentum there, right? So like how do you cope with that feeling, I guess, of like trying to keep up the momentum with the project now that it's at this size?
You're talking about with the current situation with COVID or just in general?
Just in general, but I guess also like, with the current
because
situation.
It's really different,
Right.
I would say in general, just keep making music, keep being yourself, keep releasing stuff, trying to, now that you have more, it's always been a thing for us since we started the project to make an animated music video, because to me, it was the only way to really, how can I say, like, we always produce music thinking about a story. We don't think about the story right away, but we wanted to tell something. It's all about emotions and contrast. It's always been like that, and to really show that visually with something that makes sense. The only thing to me was animation, because don't have a singer, don't have something really we can just follow with the camera, or you have to go super abstract or dancers. And to me it was just a whole original universe, which was of course the first music video, Wobble Master. And since we became to be a little bit more popular, making a little bit more money, obviously, we were like, great, we can go take that route a little bit more, make other music video, like produce, giving people more of that universe, imaginary universe we created around the project. And it's just, I remember having a hard time trying to make the show something unique and original, like a whole universe around the music project. To me, what was so important. It's just not about the music. I want it to be a whole experience. And I think since we started to take that road over the years, we just keep pursuing that route. And just keep adding to that universe, introducing new characters. It's easy to build stories, you know. It's when you're so into it like that, we talk with Ibo, we have brainstormings. We're like, okay, well, we know the character, the personality of Mr. Wobble, the personality of Dark Wobble, of Shaq Shell, of all the character we introduced along the way. And we're like, okay, well, who could we explore right now? It's really exciting because it's a never-ending story. You can tell non-stop that you can explore a little bit more of Shaq Shell. We could release another Shaq Shell focused music video. People asking to know a little bit more about Dark Wobble right now, which makes a lot of sense because it's still a lot of mystery around it, but we'll get there. And I think it helps keeping the momentum, like you said. Just keep releasing stuff, keep stuck to what you've been doing. Not saying that you shouldn't question it yourself all the time, obviously, but you created a universe, just play with it. It's fun.
Right.
And,
what is the storyline that you have going? I obviously know the branding, like I know what Mr. Wobble looks like and Dark Wobble and Chuck Shell and stuff, but what is the actual story?
The story? Well, I cannot tell much because we have it created. We don't know yet if we're gonna tell more about Mr. Wobble history with another music video, comic books, can be a lot of things. We thought about everything, but we just don't know yet how we're gonna tell people more about it.
Right. Is it more is the story like a sort of set narrative kind of thing where it's like a person who does a thing and there's like a protagonist and an antagonist and all that kind of stuff and there's like a conflict resolution type thing? Or is it more or less just sort of like, here's the personality of one kind of guy is like more sort of playful and sort of chubby and fat and charming, and then there's this other thing that's like more scary and
there's it's a little bit of both, I would say. Yeah,
so it's a little bit of like this personality thing and then a little bit of like an actual sort of narrative.
Like we had like a whole new music video already written, and Ibo even started drawing sketches and storybook for it. But we just didn't have the time to produce it. But to tell you, we love writing stories. And it's just full of elements that we started building over all the years that we can play with right now. It's really fun. Really, really fun.
Man, it's insane how fast Ibo is at making videos. Like every time I do a video with Funny, it takes him like months, which is fair enough. I mean, what he does is incredibly complex and time consuming to do. Same with Ibo, but it's just crazy the turnaround time he gets. It's like, especially with the label, right? Because like you guys put out releases pretty regularly, and every time you put out a release, there's a video usually accompanying it.
Always. Yeah.
And he seems to knock him out in like less than a week or something.
Oh, that's good. You have that feeling. No, it takes a little bit more than that. We because we released one of your EP with SX, but definitely we want to make it special on the label. We want the label to be to carry the uniqueness, I think, of the project of Ganja White Night to the label was the right way to do it with the graphic universe. And Ibo obviously is the man that is able to do it right every time. But every time we release a new artist, we have a brainstorming with the artist just to understand a little bit what he's looking for. We always trying to make it possible in a way that, if you want to tell a story during the animation, always introduce the EP announcement and all that. We're trying to build a story, something simple, obviously, because it cannot take 6 months. It took 6 months to produce Shack Shell. So you have a little idea of that, like a full-time 6 month. Mr. Wobble Master, took him, I think, 5 to 6 weeks. If you're looking at like the details between the first music video and Shack Shell, there's a lot of improvement there. It took a lot of more time. The storyline, it's really basic on Wobble Master too. So that was a great start, but we're always trying to pushing it higher, giving people more detail, more story, more beautiful panels, more complex animation. And Ebo is really fast, is really good, but he needs a team now to being able to achieve something more complex, something more detailed. So yeah, he needs some other hands. That'd be great if we could like just clone him, make like 10 of them. That'd be great. But yeah, like I say, every time we release a new artist in Subcarbon, brainstorming, build a story. We're trying to make an animation that matched our universe, but with our sauce, a little bit like with our spice, so we can see right away that it's also linked with Subcarbon. And then it takes between 3 weeks and a month to produce the animation, depending on how Ebo's schedule is.
So when you're like writing music as well, are you usually thinking sort of, how do you think about writing music then? Do you usually think about it from the perspective of this is what it's going to look like at the end, like in the show sense, like this is what the show is going to look like and therefore I'm going to write music to sort of match that? Or do you just sort of write music and then decide after the fact, this is what we should do with it visually?
Well, I wish it would be, not that I wish, obviously, it doesn't matter, but when I write music, it's just the way I write music is always, I need to build, like, I need to transfer emotions. And as soon as you have emotions in a track, the image are coming naturally, I feel like. The storyline can be a lot of different things. For example, like Dark Heart Surgery, which is a pretty different track. It's not dubstep, so it's a pretty unique track on the last album. Have this animated music video. We don't really call it a music video because it's based on loops. It's less complex and detailed than Shack Shell. It's still have Mr. Wobble in there, but I don't know if you saw it. But anyway, it's when I started producing that track, I had no idea of how to show to make a visual, to tell Ebo, hey dude, I need that to go with that track, because it's really make me that's a story I had in my head when I was producing the track. Definitely not. That didn't work like that. But every time I produce a track, the main goal for me is to transfer emotions, and the story just go naturally after you feeling something. It's always like, can be sad, it can be like epicness, something epic, or something heroic or dramatic, or anger, or something violent. But you start with these emotions, and then because we have the whole universe already in place, kind of, we're like, okay, what could it be? Should it be Shack Shell? Do you feel like this character is more connected to that track than this character? Oh, that definitely sounds like Dark Wobble is doing something because it's a really dark and aggressive track. So we're going to link that to that character. Or this one is more dance floor, groovy. That's definitely Mr. Wobble that is dancing on this one. It's easy to put a track on each character. And that's what we did on the Origins too. We're trying to link this specific track to the Samurai or the Native, the Flute Chillum, with definitely the one with not Flute Chillum, what I'm talking about. But there's one that was linked with the Native, which was which one? I cannot even remember my own track. How stupid is that?
Do you think do you think like part of the reason why you guys got so big is because you gave people a lot to identify with through this like giant narrative and, like, as you call it, a universe, but B, because like you write music that has a lot of emotion into it, which is sort of maybe contrasting against like a lot of the other dubstep that is existent at the moment, which is sort of just like very testosterone induced, heavy, like banging kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, I always thought that there's engineers in the production field that are so much more talented than us in creating like unique, super impressive sounds. And our strength on our side with the project was to create melodies and emotion and stories. I do my best to create impressive sounds too, but I definitely would never compare my production skills with you, for example, which is you're just a master at sound designing and stuff like that. I will never pretend to be a master at that. That's why I actually never really thought about even making like a masterclass or stuff like that, because I don't think my skills are that impressive. But I put my
still do a masterclass on like what it is that you are really good at, right? Which is like you say songwriting, basically.
Yeah, like the base of music for me, which to me it's more I'm not judging anybody that think differently, but to me it's super important to transfer to have a dialogue and emotions through music. And obviously I write simple melodies that are sometimes people might even think they're catchy or easy or too not as original as other artists, which I get it obviously, but it's my thing. I'm trying to improve myself every time I produce a track, and I'm trying to be original as much as I can. And but most important to me, it's emotions. If I feel something when I produce a track, then that's okay to me. I'm gonna work on it. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I get like kind of paranoid when I'm making music for EDM dubstep crowds, especially in DJ sets, but also while I'm writing. While I'm writing, I don't get quite as paranoid about this, but I always feel like, all right, I can't have like too long of an intro or too long of a build up, or I can't fuck around like too much. It has to get to the point pretty quickly, which is the point being the drop, basically. Otherwise, it will lose people's attention and all that. And it might be just me projecting, because my attention gets lost pretty quickly when I'm listening to music too, if it doesn't get to like something kind of crazy. So like I'll find myself on SoundCloud a lot just skipping to drops and stuff like that.
Because you're a technician.
Right, yeah. But one thing that you pointed out while we were working together, which I thought was really cool and I've been trying to implement more into my music, is the idea of like validating your work, which is how you put it, which makes a lot of sense, because it's like if you make a really sick drop, it's almost like that drop it can only be like so cool without stuff surrounding it, like contrasting things. And it's almost like making the bigger intro and whatnot, the bigger build up or whatever kind of validates the drop more and makes that drop 10 times more impressive than it would have been without it.
Hell yeah. The whole context around it, it's so important.
Right.
But especially when you have such a cool drop, even let's say, I don't know if you start your production by making drop, you probably have a ton of different ways to start production. But if you have such a cool drop idea, I would feel like I usually start with the intro, I build the universe, the harmony and all that, and then I find a drop that contrasts to the intro or just follow it, and in a more epic way, like drop should be. Anyway, and if I was starting with a drop and I had a drop that I feel like is super cool, it would actually give me so much inspiration and energy to create an intro that validate that drop. Like I remember I told you that, like that's why you say validate, but a drop is just, I'm sorry, my English sometimes is not as good as I wish it would be, but damn, like you said, if you have a cool drop, just make the intro that would make it even cooler, and wait for it. There's no rush at all. That this if our first album, if you check it out, all the intro we did is 1 minute 49 because it was 140 BPM and the structure was like that. 1 minute 49. It's a damn long intro.
Right.
Super long.
And when you play it live, you'd play the entire 1 minute 49.
It depends. Sometimes, try it. You should try it. Make a long intro and then a sick drop after 1 minute and a half. Let people breathe at shows.
Yeah, I think I need to do that more. I especially have this problem in shows more so than I think I do in my production. Because I write a lot of stuff that has intros and like nice, long progressive things. But yeah, when I play live, that's where I have the issues because I'm just so paranoid to like let people breathe because it's like it seems almost like it'll give them a chance to leave, and I'm like, no, like drop. But
well,
also,
you got to trust yourself.
Totally,
really.
yeah. But also,
the more you trust yourself, the
really
more you assume those intro.
Well, really, you have to trust the crowd, right? to not leave. But I also feel like if you just play drop, it's like everything kind of just becomes not a drop anymore. Like it's just all too heavy, so it no longer sounds heavy. But another thing that I found interesting working with you is that you work very linearly. Like you said, you sort of start with the intro and just work your way from there. Whereas I work very non-linearly. Like I'll start working on the intro and then I'll be like, oh, that gives me an idea for like another thing. And I'll just start working on it. And I noticed every time I did that, you were like, no, let's go back and like finish this area of the song before moving on to the next area. And I just can't do that. I just find it so hard to work linearly like that. Linearly meaning like write the intro, then the first bit, and then the next drop. Then
I think it's just because your technicality and your it's so easy for you to throw new ideas, create new ideas, because everything you have in your head you can reproduce it like right away, which is a thing I cannot do. Not that easy, so it takes time for me to do that. So I like to follow the chronology of the track and trying to, sometimes I skip some point that I know, oh, okay, I can do that, no problem. That's maybe what you're doing. You're like, oh, I can do that later, no problem. Let's skip to something at the end of the track. I just did the ID for it. But I like to have the whole line of the story and the track, the whole thing chronologically, and be sure to validate every step of the track, like the intro, the build, drop, bridge, whatever it is. Sometimes it's different, but in dubstep usually that's how it goes for us at least. But yeah, working in line, I've been doing that for 15 years, man. It's I'm not saying that it's the right way to do it, but I get that's my way to do it.
Right. What do you think of dubstep in 2020? Like this whole sort of super aggressive, insane hybrid kind of thing that's going on?
Well, do you have an artist in mind, specific?
Well, like the whole dubstep scene right now seems, well, not the whole dub, but like a lot of it seems like it's sort of this like insanely aggressive, like spectral sounding, like really tight, aggressive stuff like say Subtronics or Ultrasound or a lot of this like Virtual Riot and stuff like that. Or Eliminate, or a lot of the Disciple guys, or it just seems like this just crazy smeared spectral like sound design stuff, and I love it. I think it's really impressive. And I guess it sort of came off the back of
extremely impressive.
Yeah, it came off the back of I guess like dubstep and rhythm and trap, I suppose, and it's sort of like just this big hybrid mash of all of those things now. Whereas your stuff, it's kind of the other side of that world completely. It's sort of more like in line with the 2008 like Rusko, Casper, Scream style stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's how I fell in love with dubstep, and I respect these guys. The Disciple guys are engineers, really. They are pushing boundaries of sound, and it's great. I love that. It's a new experience every time I just blast their sound in the studio and just like, how the fuck they do that? It's extremely impressive. I love it, but it's just not what I'm. I don't feel confident about producing something like that, and I don't think I'm capable of it. And it's just not my way to create. It's not my. I don't feel it's just not me. But these guys are really pushing the limits. I love these guys. I really, the sound they're producing is just wow. Like they have the Eliminate here. It's funny to say that the last one they did with Shaquille O'Neal. The second drop of this, oh my God, I play and repeat like this is so groovy. That sound is super original, super heavy, and it grooves a lot. That's something I can follow with these guys. Their bass is grooves. They have great groove. They might not focus as much as we do on harmony and melody, of course, but there's a lot of value in their music for sure.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the melody stuff in your music is sort of more reminiscent of like film scores and stuff like that, especially like Hans Zimmer, which you've told me you're influenced by a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like the melodies in stuff like Eliminate and Subtronics and Ulysile and Virtual Riot and stuff, it's more reminiscent of like the trance and rave culture, which is just like these big like trance gating synths and like these giant super saw leads and stuff like that.
Definitely. But, it's all connected. Like you said, a big influence of me for many years, Hans Zimmer and movie scores and because, again, it's linked to a story. and trance and underground music like you said, those melodies are more influenced by trance music and maybe techno or, but yeah, I don't feel as much connected, but yeah.
Do you think you would ever want to score a movie?
We actually did.
Wait, really? Which movie?
It's a independent movie that was made in Belgium, maybe in France actually, by Indian writer. It was a long time ago. It was a really, really small movie, but it was a fun experience. And I wish one day I'll do something legit, but I'm too young for this. That's great I said young because I feel kind of old, but say to score a movie, you got to be 40, 50.
Yeah, well, if you keep touring at the rate you are, you'll be 40 or 50 in no time. So, I feel like what were you doing before COVID? Like 80 shows a year?
I think a little more.
Like 100 shows a year? Yeah, if you do that, you'll be 50 by the time you're 36.
In 3 years? Oh, yeah. Shit. I felt like I saved some years this past 6 months.
Yeah, exactly. Have you ever heard of dopamine detoxing?
Nope.
This is something I was learning about last night. So basically, just as like somebody who drinks a lot of alcohol would build up a lot of tolerance to alcohol, somebody who aggressively gets dopamine out of things will also build up a tolerance to dopamine. And so, for instance, social media, right? There's something that will give you a lot of dopamine, or eating like really like sugary foods or something like cheesecake or some shit will like, give you a lot of dopamine. Eating chocolate or drinking wine or whatever. So it's like these are things that give you a lot of dopamine. And if you build up a tolerance to dopamine, then everything starts to seem boring because dopamine is what makes life seem not boring. So I was watching a YouTube video about this thing called dopamine detoxing, where one day a week you abstain from anything that gives you dopamine. So no internet, no phone, no whatever. And the point of it is to give your dopamine receptors a detox, and then regular tasks will seem not as boring anymore.
Yeah, well, that it kind of makes sense in some ways. I feel like being that's crazy that people kind of find data over that and trying to explain everything. Like, I don't know. To me, like having like a normal day is if you're motivated with everything, you shouldn't have that problem really. If you don't exaggerate anything, like alcohol or drugs or anything that like social media, like you said, you got to be able to variate everything. And sometimes I'm stuck to my computer the whole day. The next day I feel like, I need to spend more time out. So I just go out and I'm gardening, and maybe I'm just refreshing my brain with all that crap on the internet. And then I'm ready for it the next day. You just need to listen to your brain and your body a little bit more, because sometimes we're just trying to tell you the right thing to do for yourself to feel good. And I feel like trying to theorize everything kind of you don't help your body, you don't help yourself to listen to your body and what it tells you to do to feel right. If you have too much knowledge of all that, and I get it, it makes sense to me. What you say makes sense to me, but I feel like you should be able to know what's good for you without reading about it. I mean, unless you have something specific you're trying to fight, like an addiction or something. But I feel like my body tell me right when I need to see the sunlight, I just go out because I feel like I need it.
Right. Yeah. So not everyone's like that though, right? Like I'm fighting addiction at the moment, for instance, and I'm dealing with a bunch of mental issues. But I think I think most people know that like if you exercise daily and eat good food daily and do all those things, you'll feel better. Like that's,
of course,
seems like just common sense. Yet there's still a huge prevalence of addiction in the world, right? Even though probably most of these people know this.
Yeah.
So I just think
people are more easy to get addicted to something too, and that's just depending on everybody. I'm pretty lucky. I'm not easily addicted to stuff, but yeah, I get that we are all different, and some people it's a big problem, of course.
Right, which is why when you're doing the dopamine getting thing, which is like say social media or something, and you say I need sun, it's really easy for you to be like, all right, let's go away from the potentially addicting thing and just get sun. Whereas for like a more addictive personality type person, they might be like, all right, let's not go and get sun and let's stay here.
Yeah. Well, obviously that it took many years to being able to listen to my personal needs more, being able to understand them a little bit more. But when I was a teenager or in my 20s, damn, yeah, I had a lot of addiction issue, which changed a lot right now. But yeah, definitely, that it's cool that you have those tools now these days. Like I said, I think that's a good point. That's something that some people might try to feel better if they can really feel what their body telling them to do.
Yeah, I'm going to try it maybe for the first time on Sunday this week and see what happens. So
what's the thing? You wake up and you keep your phone off.
Yeah.
You disconnect your internet. And what are you able to do? Like you can go out, go on hike, or
you can go for a walk. You can cook food, I guess. I suppose you could read a book.
But that's how is that different than watching a TV show or a documentary, like reading a book or going cooking food? How is that provides you dopamine, right? To cook food, you get some
not quite to the same level, right? Like I think cooking food or reading a book doesn't provide unnatural levels of dopamine, whereas like social media does provide pretty unnatural levels of dopamine. And drug use for sure produces unnatural levels of dopamine.
Of course.
That's why
social media provides a unnatural amount of dopamine?
For sure. And the reason why is because so humans, when we get the thing that we want and we know we're going to get it 100%, like let's say I know that there's cookies in my cupboard and I know that I'm going to get them and I want to go and eat one, I'll get hit with dopamine on the way to go get one. And then once I get one and eat it, I'll get hit with dopamine again, right? So that's one way to get it. But when you get the biggest reward of dopamine, it's actually when it's random, when you don't know when you're going to get it and then you randomly get hit with it, which is why social media is such an insane thing, because you don't know when you're going to get a notification, right? But so they're kind of random. And then when you get one, the hit of dopamine that you get from it is actually larger than if you knew you were going to have a notification every time.
And the algorithm is based on that, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, kind of like that's, yeah, I think it is actually. And
I think I read something about that a few years ago, actually, about Facebook, the way they were showing you the notification. Just like you said, it was like kind of random. They had that random thing in the formula, in the algorithm, to make it like more addictive.
Yeah, it's inherently random anyway, because like not always is somebody going to message you or like your post or anything like that. But so you're going to randomly get notifications regardless. But yeah, that sort of randomization of when you will get a notification makes it more addictive, I guess.
It makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, yeah, I appreciate you doing the podcast. I have to go to the hardware store to buy a fire extinguisher because there's a 1% chance that there's an earthquake going to happen this week.
What?
Yeah.
So, what are you talking about?
Yeah, apparently there's a 1% chance of an earthquake this week, so I need to go buy a fire extinguisher to prepare for that. From what I understand, my girlfriend was telling me about this last night, a lot of the things that destroy areas from earthquakes is not actually from the earthquake itself. It's from subsequent fires from the earthquakes. So what happens is you get this crazy earthquake, it breaks all the gas mains, and then gas is going everywhere, everything starts setting on fire. So that's why I need to go buy a fire extinguisher.
Well, you should have like that valve. I mean,
yeah, there's a valve shut off.
Yeah, right.
And I just ordered a tool from Amazon to be able to turn it off.
Wow, it's scary. Well, we had a earthquake here. I don't know if you felt that. It was really close from here where I am. Like 2 weeks and a half ago, it was a 4.2, 4.5.
Yeah. I remember last time I was at your house. You were like, had specialists coming over to check the land and all that stuff because you wanted to buy the house, but you wanted to be sure that it was like not in a crazy earthquake zone before buying it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, in the hills here in LA, if you don't do like a seismicology expert just to check how your house has been like, did it had any damage during the previous earthquake, like the Northridge earthquake, which was a big one in the 90s? What happened back then? Or how is the bedrock? If there's a major earthquake, is the house gonna crack open? And that was something that my real estate agent, you really should take care of that. Everybody that's buying houses in the hills should do that. Just common sense.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, it's just one of the things. That was scary. It's one of the prices you pay of living in California. But you get the benefit of the weather, but you also have the detriment of the earthquakes.
That is scary. That is really scary. It's something we're not used to at all. Oh man, and I felt it really well. It was in the middle of the night, woke me up, and I felt that wave of energy coming in. It was super fast, but like 5-6 seconds. It felt like so much longer than that. You really can feel the whole house shaking and moving. It was just a 4.2. Damn, man. If we got a 7 or a 7 and 7.5 or something like that, oh God.
Well,
it'd
hopefully
be horrible.
That doesn't happen.
You said 1% chance. I'm not going to sleep tonight, man.
Yeah, apparently it's a 1% chance this week, which it's
where?
It's the San Mateo fault line, I think. I don't know if it'll affect LA. Maybe it will.
Okay. Well, they said last year in July there's been like 2 big earthquake here right after we moved in. Like a week after, boom. 2 big ones, like 6 point something, like which is pretty big, it lasted for a pretty long time. One separated by the other by 2 or 3 days, and they said there's been studies now that say these 2 actually made the risk of having the big one so much more, rise the probability of the big one by a lot, like. So it's really, really scary. Really scary.
Well, yeah, hopefully we don't get one. But yeah, anyway, man, I really appreciate you taking the time to come and chat. And
pleasure,
yeah,
man.
I can't
Thank
wait
you for having me
come down
again.
and hang out with you again after all this COVID shit is over.
I have a proper room for you right now.
Yeah, nice. I can see you got one of those bricks vocal booths back there too.
Yeah, Studio Bricks. That's great, man. There's not a screw in there. Easy to build, just that the door is impossible to maneuver. It's so heavy.
Damn. Sick. Well, fuck yeah, man. All right. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too, man. Take care.
Hey, thanks for listening to the Mr. Bill podcast. These episodes are edited and uploaded twice a week by Robert Fumo of 303podpro.com. You can also support the show, get early access to episodes, and hear bonus content by going to patreon.com/Mr. Bill's Tunes and becoming a patron. Please rate and review on iTunes unless you're going to be a little shit about it. And all the links to my various platforms are at MrBillsTunes.com. Thank you.